Hi, and welcome to this video where I will show you how to create tasks that are assigned to an action in the plan of action. So here I'm logged in the demo country as a strategy manager, and I will head to plan of action to list all the actions in the initiative. So here I will pick the one action that I want. So I could search it here, or if I know exactly its number, I could just pick the one I want. Let's, for instance, pick an action that doesn't have any tasks assigned. Let's see, this one. We'll look into full details of this action. This is an action inside of the plan, which is around the wellness tourism sector, and its target is to set up a standardization committee. To set up your task, first information to know is that you need to have the proof or the data that substantiates the creation of this task. So basically you are aware of either an existing initiative, you are aware of a government initiative that is supporting this action, or you're aware of a project that is existing that supports this action. This could both be something that has been purposefully planned to accomplish this exact action in the plan of action, or it could be something that pre-exists this action. So it's something that has already been started before this action came into validation. So whatever this is, you do have some information and you can enter it here by creating a task. So clicking on this, you have several important fields to enter. So first of all, we have the description of your task. So we can say this is training on standardization to the Ministry of Tourism, and this is supported through an international project. So this means it's funded from an international donor agency. We can put a start date towards March this year and an end date towards the end of the year, let's say December 31st. There we go. And then this maybe is the most important part. And now I will just give a few words how I would estimate this contribution to action. So contribution to action is basically an estimation to how much this task contributes to the target of the action that it is supporting. So in this case, if you remember, we had as a target the setup of a standardization committee. And here we have a training of Ministry of Tourism staff on standardization. So in terms of connection, there is a slight connection because this kind of prepares those people that might be coming into the standardization committee to take active part in it. But it definitely does not fully complete the entire action. So I would estimate this to be just between 10 and 15% of the entire components required to implement the action completely. So I would put 15%. Then if there is budget information that you are aware of, you can also add it here. However, just be aware that this is a mandatory field. So if you don't have it, you will need to estimate it. Then task rationale is an option. It's not a required field. However, this field of the funding source type is very important. So as here I mentioned that this is something that is supported through international assistance, I will pick development partner. But just to give you a few words on the core and non-core budget, this both is related to national budget. When we say core budget, we talk about the annual budgets related to the mandate of that particular institution that is responsible for the execution of that action. So this basically means that this is the core budget of that national institution. Non-core budget would always come from some specific earmarked budget that is connected to, let's say, a project, an initiative, a special fund from the government, and some other envelopes of the sort. So in this case, as I mentioned, I will pick development partner. After that, I will need to select which development partner are we talking about. I can pick the ones existing, or I can create one. Here I could basically name the institution and provide some more specific information about it. However, I will just pick European Union for now and select the project, which is this test project 1 that we've created earlier. And then here, finally, we need to pick an executing agency. So in this case, we will pick Export Development Board, for instance, because they are the one working with this European Union project to implement this activity. So this means that the action leading implementing partner is not necessarily the same as the executing agency, as is the case here. And then I click on Save. Since I am the strategy manager, the task is automatically approved. If I was, for instance, a focal point user connected to an institution, this task would be required to be approved by me as the strategy manager. This is how you create a task. Just so you know, I will pick another case where there is already many tasks connected to action. Here we have 3 tasks available that are connected to this activity. As you will notice, these 3 tasks contribute to 100% of the full action. But let's say I have another task I want to add. We will not be able to add another task if there is already 100% contribution of all the existing tasks to the full implementation of this action. So, to countervene this issue, what can be done is to reduce the full amount of these tasks to be able to give space for a new task to arrive. So let's say I can reduce to 35. Here I can reduce to 35 as well. And here I will reduce to 15. Perfect. And this allows me for 15% for this new task that I will then create. That's test 2 to be done by the end of the year. Let's say September. Contribution to target there is 15. Estimated budget, core funding, and then executing agency, again, Export Development Board. Let's save it now. And then you will see this appears here and is now available for being inputted. And all these tasks are contributed to now, again, 100%. So this is how you enter tasks in the system. I hope this video was useful and see you in the next one.